Hi, it's Chris Croft here from successfultrainers.com. Now, one of the things I get asked by people who are starting out with their training businesses is, should they advertise? And I would say no, I would not recommend advertising because I don't think that's how people find trainers. I think if you were looking for a trainer, you would either ask friends, who do you use, people in similar companies or people who you work with. Have you had a good trainer where you've worked before? So you would do that. Or you would think back to trainers who you've had in the past and you would get them in. So my work all comes from repeats or referrals, a little bit from my website, but it doesn't come from advertising. And I think advertising training is really difficult. Where would you advertise? Because remember, you're selling B2B, not B2C. So if you advertise on the local radio, the public are hearing that. But are the decision makers who want to book training going to be listening on the radio or reading the local paper? Probably not. Now you could advertise in a trade magazine maybe, and maybe the type of people who book training might be there, perhaps, some HR magazine, but it's difficult to know how to even target those types of people with an advert. So personally, I think advertising is almost certainly going to be a waste of money. I think it's much better to do marketing on LinkedIn, blogs, search engine optimization, maybe cold calling. But the main thing is to really look after your existing customers and make sure you get referrals and repeats. And those are subjects of separate videos I'm going to cover. But if you really are going to advertise, I would say two things. And I would say one of them is measure the effects. Don't spend money on advertising unless you can prove that it's worth it. So by all means, do an experiment, but find out whether it has paid for itself or not. Don't just keep chucking money and you don't know whether it's working. And the other thing I would say is split testing. So try two different adverts and see which one works better, and then keep that, and then do variations of that and see which one works better. And you can gradually home in on what works, because you might think you know what works, but I bet you don't. And the only way really is to test it. And these days, because it's all on computers, you can measure everything. So split test your adverts and find out what works. But generally, I don't recommend advertising, and that's good news because you don't have to spend lots of money to get your training business off the ground. Anyway, if you want to know more about how to get your training business off the ground, why not join my Successful Trainers program? Just go to successfultrainers.com, book a call with me. We can discuss it. I can show you what we do, how much it costs, how it all works, and you can decide whether you think it's worth doing or not. And why not have a discovery call with me? successfultrainers.com.